Good afternoon, folks. Today we have a 2006 Ford Focus 1.8 TDCi. This one is actually my own vehicle that I use for running about with. I parked it up, went into a shop and come back out, and there was a funny sort of squealing noise coming from the engine. I thought maybe the belt or something was slipping, so I turned the engine off, had a look, and it turns out the tensioner had failed. There we have part of the tensioner. The tensioner has failed, and it proceeded to, it was wrapping the belt round the pulley wheel there. So it was a quick, rip the belt off. Thankfully I was only a couple of miles away, so I just ripped the belt off to prevent any more damage. Drove the car and parked it on my driveway. I'm not in the workshop just now, so I've had to try and pick up some tools from my workshop, so hopefully I've got what I need, and I'm just going to get that swapped over. The tensioner on this one, this is the 1.8 TDCi, is a kind of strange one for taking the tension off. You need an 8mm bolt to take that tension off. It's not like most of them where you put a socket or a spanner or something like on and turn it and release the tension that way. I'll show you that as I'm putting it on. But here we go. I shall pop the bonnet and see what's got to be done to get access to it. Here we have it. Apologise for any wind noise because I am outside. I've just removed this pipe here, part of the turbo hose. You can either use a Phillips screwdriver on that or a 7mm socket. I prefer the socket, it's just easier. So I whipped that off just to give me a bit more access, and down there you can just about see where the tensioner is, and you can see where it's failed. So this one here I'm going to have to get in through the wheel arch. So I'm going to jack up the car, take the road wheel off and see what we've got. So that's me removed the road wheel. You can just about see the tensioner. What is it? See, that bolt that you can see is a 13mm. Need to get that off, and that one there, I think it's also a 13. That's the two bolts that's holding this on, but its access is really poor. So what I'm going to have to do is probably just get a spanner on that and maybe just give it a couple of whacks with a mallet to get it started, because I can't really get any other tools into that. So managed to get that with the two spanner trick. So what I've done is I've got a 13mm spanner on that bolt. I've just attached a 15mm spanner to the other side, and I've managed to crack it. So just keep working that until it comes out. So here it is. This is the one that came off the car. As you can see, it's missing part of the pulley. That bolt at the bottom is actually a 10mm. I think I said 13 earlier on, so you've got a 13mm right in the centre. There isn't quite enough room between the tensioner, the side of the engine and the chassis to get this bolt completely out. So you just got to get it out past the threads and then wiggle the whole tensioner out through the bottom. So I say this is a little 10mm bolt that goes on the bottom in there. So this one here is I just picked it up at a scrapyard. It does the job. It's my own car, like I say. Tensioner I think was about 60-70 pounds or something like that. I managed to get this in a belt and a couple other things for about £10, so I'm quite happy with that. It will do the job for me. So I'm just going to put this back in. Again, what I'll do is I'll take the bolt, put it in the centre, and then offer it up to the engine. Once I kind of get it in place, start tightening that down, and the little 10mm bolt at the bottom. And this is a bit I was telling you about. It takes the tension off. So if I get my little 8mm bolt, I put it on here, when I tighten this up, it pushes this part of the tensioner round, so there's actually a big gap that starts appearing here. But if you look closely, you see a little arrow, 2 lines, so that's it when the tensioner's fully open. And then when you start tightening it down, get it to this line. This should be the line that you would use to reassemble and put the belt on. I don't think it would matter that much, as long as I can get it slackened off enough that I can slide the belt over the pulleys. That'll do the job. So I'm going to put this bolt in once it's actually in the car, just so it's not in my way. But just for reference, that's where it sits on there. So I could have done with a ratchet spanner on that. It's quite awkward, and I've only got the tools I brought with me, so I've used a 2 spanner trick to tighten up the last bit of that bolt. So that's nice and snug, and the 10mm underneath. So all I need to do now is figure out how the fan belt comes on. This is a belt I got from the scrapyard. A bit of surface rust on it, but I don't know if you can see. Let's see. Yeah, it's virtually brand new. So I just whipped that as well. So that was a stroke of luck. New belt, new tensioner at the scrapyard. So because the belt has already come off, I've absolutely no frame of reference as to how this goes back on. I had tried a quick Google search and nothing much was coming up, so I'm just going to have to try and figure it out. When you've got pulleys, I've got a smooth surface on it. It's the back of the belt that will sit on that. You've got pulleys with the teeth on it. It's a tooth section that goes on. So using that rule of thumb, it's just a case of working through the different possible combinations that you can get until you actually get the right way around. So I'll have a little play about and see if I can figure it out. So as you can see, I've put that 8mm bolt back in, and if you look at the little arrow, you shall see that I've tightened it up until the arrow points against the little nub that's on the casing of it. So that should mean that the belt should slip on nice and easily. So I just need to try and figure out what way it actually goes on. So once I've done that, I'll get back to you. So there we have it, using the method I was describing earlier about the teeth going to the teeth and the backside going to the flat pulleys. I think I've worked it out. So I'll also start it up and see what's happening. But I can't get you in there to give you a proper look. But what I can do is if I can't find a diagram for it, I'll draw a little diagram, just so that you guys know exactly how it goes together. So I've just taken the tension off here. There it goes. Just taking the tension off. The belt seems nice and tight, so I think that's ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'll put a turbo pipe back on at the top, and the one I removed just for access, and let's see how it goes from there. So I'll just move this bottle out of the way. That just pulls upwards, you just yank it upwards and then it comes away. The belt down there looks seated well. So this pipe that runs from there to there, just going to pop that back on. I think I'll just start the engine after that, make sure it's all okay before I put the road wheel back on. So that's that turbo pipe back on, and while I was there I noticed that the coolant level was a bit low, so I've just topped up with a bit of water. So I'm going to stick the key in ignition. Now, if everything's good, I'll turn this off so you can hear me. So if everything's good, then it should start. There should be no warning lights, there should be no funny noises, anything like that, but let's find out. Let's see. Battery's a bit slow. Oh, it went. Battery light's still on. But that could be just because the last time I drove it, it's not getting a charge. I'll have a wee look outside. Everything looks good, and the battery light seems to have gone. So I think that's a fix, guys. I'm going to let it run, get it up to temperature, and just sort of monitor it over the next 10 minutes or so. If everything's okay, I shall put the road wheel back on and call that a fix. So there it is, folks. That's how you do the tensioner and drive belt on a Ford Focus diesel. No special tools required. Like I say, the only thing you need for the tensioner is that little 8mm bolt. If you've got one of them, it's a pretty easy job. Access is a bit poor, but if you persevere with it, you'll get it. So if you like what you see and you like the car related videos, and I've got a couple other things in the pipeline, so if you like the videos, just remember to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.